Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Strategy Game Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Shippey, and today we're talking about another word that I have for you. These words came to me over a period of about 6 months consistently, and it's just been so cool to go back through them and to share them and hear your stories about how they've encouraged you. So I hope that this one in particular really encourages you today. It is called You Are Going to a New Place. And this is one of my favorites because I've personally been experiencing this journey recently in creating new things. And I believe there's a lot more to come, which I will share with you all at the right time. So I'm going to go ahead and read the word and then we're going to dive into it. So it says, you are going to a new place. It won't look like the places you've been before. You don't need to bring anything with you, just yourself. I love that part. What you need for the new place is already in you, inscribed on the tablet of your heart, soul, and mind. When you start out, it will feel unfamiliar, but as you go, you will see fragments of where you've been before, and you will know that you are revisiting those places to get healed. The time is being redeemed. What has been lost is being restored. Notice the turns, stop and observe the map when you need to. Cross over into new places and come back often to refuel. You are going to a new place. So that word was so powerful for me. And I heard this, man, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year ago. And even now, as I record this, it still rings true to me because I've been in a place of looking back at everything that we've done so far at Storywork with the Strategy Masterclass and the Strategy Game Podcast and the marketing engine and all of the things created and the masterminds that we've led and the teachings and the workshops and all of those things. But now there's really been a really tangible shift as 2024 started. I really just started sensing you are going to a new place. Like, this is not going to be the way that you've been before. So forget the former, all the things that you've done so far. Not forget like you don't recognize them, but you're not going that way anymore. So don't use that blueprint for where you're going because there's going to be a new blueprint. And it's really an intentional process of like, I'll start to create something new and I'll look back at, oh, I should use this, like what I've done before. Or I should go and look at this person's site because they have a similar model. And I just sense, no, you're not doing that. You're going to listen for how you would do it. And this gets back to identity-based strategy. So no one else will do it like you would. And you have to get still and quiet enough and cut out the swirl of confusion or distraction. And if you need to, use fasting as a tool, like fast from social media, take some time. That means take some time off of something. And usually that like disrupts you enough that you can get clarity and you can get refocused. So use tools to help you get where you need to be in the frame of mind and in the heart posture. If you're carrying like the weeds in the way, like we talk about in the book, and I'm recording a series on the weeds in the way, like stubbornness and control and pride and resentment and bitterness and all that stuff, which, you know, we all experience almost every day. But if you're carrying it with you, then you can't get in the frame of mind to create things or listen for the new place where you're going. So this stuff is so huge. I mean, it's monumental because when you can sit and you can get to this place, you can realize the direction that you're going to go and how it's going to be different. And I just want to encourage you today to create the new blueprint. Don't go the old way, because the way that the world is going to move and shift, and the way that companies and businesses and movements are going to interact and what they're going to want is going to shift massively. And if we're not listening, if we're not still, and we are not following the new place, then we'll still be trying to use the old tools and they won't work. They're not going to work. I am positive of that. So make sure that as you're kind of on this, what I call it is like this redemption tour, which means you're going back and maybe you're seeing people you haven't seen in a long time and you're in situations that are similar to where you've been before. but you're noticing different things. And in the last episode, the last word that we recorded, we talked about the kaleidoscope, and things are different for you this time because your view is different, because you've turned the kaleidoscope, you've grown as a person, you have realized things, you've gone through things, both maybe good and hard. And so you're not going to see things the same way. And what's great about that is that the new place offers opportunity for healing to come and restoration to come to you. And then once you have that, you can carry that into the new place. So notice the turns, stop and observe when you need to, cross over into new spaces when you need to, and come back often to refuel. So listen, you can't, because this is, you're literally rewiring your brain as you go to the new place, because you're saying, nope, I'm not going to rely on the old things. I'm not going to look back at what I've done previously and use that. You have to refuel often. So what brings you refreshment? What recharges you? For me, it's getting time in what I call the dreaming room, which I'm going to be talking more about soon. But the dreaming room is the place where I put on like certain songs that really, they're more just instrumental, like cinematic music. Did I say that right? I don't know. And I'm like at a coffee shop or I'm somewhere outside, and I've got my laptop or I've got my notebook, and I am just listening, and I'm not on social media, and I have my phone away. And that's the place where I refuel. So, or things that you enjoy, like getting outside, doing things actively, like, even the gym, like things that recharge you. You have to commit to do those things often and make them a rhythm in the season as you create your new place blueprint. So, how I want to end this episode is just by pointing you to a resource that we have. And I'm going to put this link in the show notes. But this is a guide that came to me. This was really cool. We went on a trip to Miami just for the weekend with some friends. And one morning I had woken up early and I went for a walk. And I started like I went into kind of like story mode when I create things. And I was thinking about the new place, and like I came to a bridge, and I came to a map, and I, came to like these different points. And when I got back, I knew I had to find a piece of paper and write this down. And so that's where I created this guide. So that for me was the dreaming room. And that's like that's the blueprint. That's how I create like new things. So this guide has a step, it's 7 pages, and it allows you times to journal through and prompts, like come out further. There's a whole page on that. Like, what step can I take toward my new place? How can I cultivate a regular rhythm? And then it talks about crossing over. So going to a new place requires you to cross over into new territory. Sometimes it'll be a bridge, sometimes by boat, sometimes you'll have to get in the water and swim. And so it talks about that crossing over. So what does that look like for you? Being aware of new bridges, which way you want to go, stop to look at the map. It really talks about, as you look at your own map, how do you need to reposition yourself? What direction are you headed? So this guide you can just print it, or you can type in there and just use this as your launching place for creating your blueprint. I hope this helps you, encourages you today. Keep going. Be committed to getting in that new place, because that's going to build and grow your business, your movement, your family, whatever it is that you're focused on building right now. Check out the link in the show notes. And then for more, head to www.storywork.co.